When we talk about happiness, many people imagine big events, a new house, a vacation, success. But real peace is not always loud. It often comes in a soft, quiet way. It comes when we stop and notice something very small, like a single breath. Right now, take a moment. Just breathe in, slowly, then breathe out. Did you feel that? That is life itself. You are alive. And that is already a miracle. We breathe all day, every day. But most of the time, we don't notice. It becomes just background noise. Still, every breath is a sign that we are here, that we are part of this world. Each breath is like a soft reminder. You are alive, and this moment is enough. When I was young, I met an old monk. He told me, if you can enjoy one breath, you can enjoy your whole life. At that time, I didn't understand. But now, many years later, I know what he meant. Life is made of moments, and each moment is made of breath. There is nothing you must do to enjoy it. You don't need special skills or money. You just need to notice. Even when life feels heavy, a small moment like this can give light. One breath can bring calm. It doesn't solve every problem, but it reminds us that peace is always close. Sometimes, joy hides in places we forget to look. So the next time you feel lost or tired, try this. Pause. Breathe. Feel it. Just one breath. You may be surprised how deep that small moment can be. Early in the morning, when the world is still quiet, a soft light comes through the window. It moves slowly, gently touching the floor, the walls, and sometimes your face. It is not strong like the afternoon sun. It is calm, like a whisper. This light is easy to miss. Many people wake up, check their phone, rush to get ready, and move on with the day. But if you stop, even for just a minute, you can see something beautiful. That soft morning light is not just light. It is the beginning of a new day, a fresh start, a quiet promise. Many years ago, I lived in a small temple in the mountains. There was no clock in my room. I woke up when the light touched the wooden floor. It was the same every day, but it never felt boring. That light always felt like a gentle friend saying, "You are here, you can begin again." Sometimes we think beauty must be special or rare, but real beauty often waits in simple places. A ray of morning light can carry deep peace. It can remind you that the world is still turning, and you are part of it. You don't have to travel far or wait for a perfect moment. Just notice the light that comes into your room. Let it touch your face. Let it remind you that being alive today is enough. In the small light of morning, there is quiet joy. It asks nothing from you. It only wants to be seen. If you look, you may find that this simple light can open your heart. There is a kind of quiet music that needs no instrument. It plays when the sky becomes heavy and drops of water fall to the ground. The sound of rain on the roof is one of the oldest songs in the world. It does not ask for attention, but when we listen, it brings something deep to the heart. Sometimes we stay inside and feel sad because the sky is grey. But rain is not just an end to sunshine. It is a gift. When rain falls, the earth drinks. Trees and flowers open. The air feels clean. And inside, we are offered a chance to slow down. When I was a child, I would sit by the window during storms. I listened to the drops hitting the roof, one after another, like soft drumming. I didn't know why it made me feel calm. Now I think it was because the rain didn't rush. It simply fell, moment by moment. It had no plan, no worry, just falling, just being. In a world full of noise and speed, the rain reminds us that it's okay to be still. It tells us that time can move slowly, that not every moment needs to be filled. If you ever feel overwhelmed, try this. Sit down, close your eyes, and listen to the rain. If there is no rain, remember its sound. Let it wash over your thoughts. Let it soften your feelings. Even sadness feels different when heard through the sound of rain. Not heavier, but somehow softer. Kinder. There is peace in the way it falls, and sometimes that's all we need, to sit, to listen, and to let the rain sing its quiet song. You walk down a street. People pass by. Most of them are looking at their phones or just staring ahead. But then, for one short second, you meet someone's eyes, and they smile. Without thinking, you smile back. Nothing is said, yet something real happens. A shared smile with a stranger is small, but powerful. It doesn't solve problems or change the world. But in that brief moment, it connects two people who may never meet again. It says, "I see you. You are not alone." We often think connection needs long talks or deep relationships, but even short moments can carry warmth. A smile doesn't need words. It doesn't need background. It needs only the heart. I remember once standing at a train station. It was cold and grey. People were quiet. Then a small child looked up at me and smiled. I smiled back. His mother smiled too. For just a second, the cold air felt warmer. We didn't speak. The train came. We all left. But I still remember that smile. It was simple, yet full. In this world, many people feel unseen. They feel small or forgotten. But your smile can remind them that they matter, and when someone smiles at you, it can do the same. You don't need to plan it. You don't need to force it. Just let your smile come when it wants to. Let it be honest, even if small. It is a gift that costs nothing but gives much. Sometimes, the greatest joy is not in what we do, but in how we connect. A shared smile, even with a stranger, can light a moment. And that moment can stay with us long after it's gone. There is something special about a simple meal. Not a big feast, not something fancy from a restaurant, but a quiet bowl of soup, warm rice, or a piece of bread. Food that fills the stomach and gently touches the heart. In my younger days at the temple, we ate the same meal every morning: rice porridge, pickled vegetables, and hot tea. At first, I thought it was too plain, but over time, I began to notice something deeper. The smell of steam rising, the warmth of the bowl in my hands, the first bite on a cold morning. Each part became a small moment of peace. When we eat, we often rush. We watch videos, scroll through messages, or think about our next task. But a meal is more than fuel. It is a chance to pause, to care for your body, to thank the hands that prepared it, even if it was your own. A simple meal reminds us that joy does not always come from more. Sometimes it comes from less, from slowing down, from tasting, not just eating, from being present. There is also comfort in the regular. When life feels uncertain, a warm meal can give us something steady. It tells us, this moment is enough. And that message can be healing. Even eating alone, you are not truly alone. You are with the food, with the warmth, with the quiet rhythm of life. That is a kind of togetherness. So next time you sit down to eat, try this. Put down your phone. Take one slow bite. Feel the warmth. Taste it fully. You may find that in that small act, a deep joy is waiting, quiet, steady, and kind. Sometimes we try too hard to find meaning. We search in books, in long talks, in deep thinking. But often, meaning is already there, in something as simple as leaves moving in the wind. Have you ever just watched a tree? Not while doing something else, not as part of a walk, just stood or sat still and watched. The way the branches sway, the way each leaf dances on its own path. It has no plan. It just moves with the wind. There is a kind of quiet truth in that. The tree doesn't resist. It doesn't fight the wind or try to stay still. It moves, then returns, over and over, always changing but always standing. In my time at the temple, I would often sit in the garden after chores. There was one tree I liked the most, a tall one with wide branches. On windy days, I watched it for a long time. At first, it felt like nothing was happening, but the more I watched, the more I felt calm. The leaves were teaching me without words. Life, like the wind, is always moving. Sometimes strong, sometimes soft. We cannot control it. But we can choose how we move with it. Like the leaves, we can learn to bend without breaking. You don't need answers all the time. You don't need to fix everything. Sometimes, just watching a tree can remind you, it's okay to move gently with what comes. So next time the wind blows through the trees near you, stop for a moment. Watch the leaves. Let them show you how to be. Light, free, and open to whatever life brings. In today's world, we often walk to get somewhere. We walk to work, to the store, to a meeting. Always a destination, always a goal. But what if you walked with no purpose? No plan, no rush. Just step after step, with nothing to do but walk. A quiet walk without purpose may sound strange. Some might think it's a waste of time, but in truth, it can be a return to yourself, to the world around you, to the present moment. I remember taking long walks in the hills behind the temple. There were no signs, no maps, and no reason to go. I just followed the small paths, listening to the sound of my own steps. Birds sang, leaves moved, and sometimes I passed by a small stream. There was nothing to achieve, but still, I felt full. When we let go of the need to be productive, we open a new kind of space. On such walks, you may start to notice things you usually miss. The way the light touches a wall, the way your feet feel against the ground, the way your thoughts begin to quiet down. There is a gentle freedom in walking without reason. It reminds us that not everything needs to be useful. Some things are simply to be enjoyed. You don't need a forest or a mountain. You can walk through your neighborhood, around your building, down a quiet street. What matters is not where you go, but how you go. Try it one day. Leave your phone behind. Walk slowly. Let each step be its own moment. You may return with nothing in your hands, but with more peace in your heart. There is a special time each day just before sleep. The lights are low, the noise has faded, and your body begins to rest. It is a quiet space between the day and the night, between doing and not doing. Many people miss this moment. They fall asleep with a phone in hand, or with their thoughts still racing. But if you pause for just a short while, you can find something very gentle and healing there. In the temple, bedtime was simple. No screens, no music, just the sound of the night outside. Crickets, wind, sometimes rain. Lying on a thin mattress, I would watch the shadows on the ceiling. That quiet moment, when the day had ended and sleep had not yet begun, felt like being held by the world itself. You don't need to change much to feel this stillness. Just turn off the noise a little earlier. Let yourself lie down and do nothing. Not sleep yet, just rest. Feel the weight of your body. Let your breath slow. Notice how the day gently lets go of you. This stillness is not empty. It is full of peace. It is the body saying thank you. It is the mind softening. It is life reminding you that you don't always need to think or act. You can simply be. Sometimes the best part of the day is not what we did, but how we ended it. So tonight, before sleep takes you, stay awake for just one more quiet minute. Let it wrap around you like a blanket. Let it be your final gift of the day. The day is ending. The sun begins to fall, and the sky slowly changes its color. Blue becomes gold, then pink, then deep purple. It happens every day, but still it feels special, like a quiet painting made just for that moment. Dusk is a time between worlds. It is not day, and not yet night. It asks nothing from you. It only invites you to stop and look, even for a minute, even from a window or a parking lot. The sky doesn't care where you are. It simply opens itself to be seen. I remember once standing outside after cleaning the temple hall. I looked up and saw the clouds glowing orange and red. For a few seconds I forgot everything. No tasks, no thoughts, just the sky. It was silent, but I felt deeply spoken to. Many people miss this moment. They are too busy with dinner, messages, or plans for tomorrow. But the sky doesn't wait. It changes quickly. If you don't look, the colors are gone. That's what makes it so precious. There is quiet joy in knowing that beauty doesn't last forever. It comes, it fades, and it teaches us to be present. The sky at dusk reminds us that change can be soft, that endings can be beautiful. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to take a photo. Just be still and look. Let the sky show you its colors. Let it tell you, the day is ending, and that is okay. You are still here, and that too is enough. Many people see repetition as boring. Doing the same thing again and again may feel like a waste of time, but in repetition there can be quiet peace, a gentle rhythm that brings calm to the heart. At the temple, much of our daily life was made of repeated tasks, sweeping the same floor every morning, washing the same bowl every evening, ringing the same bell at the same time. At first, I wanted variety. I thought new things would make life more interesting. But slowly, I began to feel something deeper. Repetition was not a prison. It was a path. When you do something simple, over and over, your body begins to remember. Your hands move naturally. Your mind becomes quiet. You don't have to decide anything. You just follow the rhythm. And in that rhythm, you find space. Space to breathe. Space to feel. Space to be. Think about folding clothes, watering plants, brushing your teeth. These are not big events, but they shape our days. If we do them with care, they become more than tasks. They become moments of stillness. The world often tells us to chase after new things, but not everything needs to be new. Some things grow deeper through time, like music, where the same notes are played again and again. Each time, they touch us in a different way. So next time you repeat something, no matter how small, try not to rush. Feel each movement. Notice the quiet pattern. You may find that within the familiar, a peaceful joy is waiting. Repetition does not mean nothing changes. It means we have another chance to return. And sometimes, returning is where the peace begins. We often think that communication is all about words. Speaking clearly, choosing the right phrase, saying what we mean. But there is something else that lives between the words. Silence. And in that silence, we can sometimes find deeper meaning. Think of a conversation with a friend. There are times when neither of you is speaking, but the connection is strong. A pause, a breath, a quiet moment where nothing is said, but everything is felt. That space is not empty, it is full of presence. In the temple, we spent much of our time in quiet. We spoke only when needed. At first, it was uncomfortable. I wanted to fill the silence. But slowly, I began to see that silence was not the opposite of sound. It was part of it. Like the space between notes in music, it gave shape to the words. When you speak, try to notice the pause before and after each sentence. There is power there, not in rushing to respond, but in letting the silence hold what was said. Sometimes, silence is more kind than any advice, more honest than any answer. In daily life, we are surrounded by noise, phones, news, conversations, plans, but silence is always there, waiting. It is not something to fear. It is something to trust. You don't need to become quiet all the time. Just allow the silence to enter now and then. In speaking, in listening, in simply being. And in that still space between words, you may discover a gentle kind of truth, one that cannot be spoken, but only felt. Most people believe they are good listeners, but often, while someone is speaking, we are already forming a reply. We judge, compare, or wait for a chance to speak. We hear the words, but we are not truly listening. Listening without thinking is different. It means letting the words come, without trying to shape them. It means giving your full attention, not just with your ears, but with your whole being. At the temple, an older monk once told me, "When you listen, do not prepare, just receive." I didn't understand at first, but later I began to notice something. When I stopped planning my response, the other person's words became clearer. Their feelings came through, not just their ideas. Real listening creates space. It allows the other person to feel safe, to open up, and it also gives you a chance to rest. You don't need to fix, judge, or agree. You just need to be there. This kind of listening is rare. But when it happens, something beautiful takes place. The speaker feels heard. The listener feels calm. There is no pressure, no battle of opinions, just presence. Try it sometime. Let someone speak, and hold back your thoughts. Watch them. Hear their voice. Notice their pauses. You might be surprised at how much more you can understand. Listening without thinking doesn't mean becoming empty. It means becoming open, like a still lake that reflects everything clearly. In this simple act, there is quiet joy, no effort, no struggle, just connection. And sometimes, that silent connection can speak louder than any words. We often wait for special moments to feel alive, a holiday, a big event, a rare experience. But most of life is made of ordinary tasks, washing dishes, folding clothes, tying shoelaces. These are the small pieces that fill our days, and yet they hold quiet power. Many years ago, I was sweeping the temple steps early in the morning. It was still dark. My hands were cold. At first, I was thinking of something else, plans for the day, a letter I had to write. But then, I noticed the sound of the broom on the stone, the way the dust moved in the light, the rhythm of my arms. Suddenly, I was no longer just cleaning. I was fully there. Ordinary tasks become different when we bring our full attention. They stop being chores and become moments of presence. You are not just doing something, you are being with it. When you wash a cup, you can feel the warmth of the water. When you fold a shirt, you can notice the softness of the fabric. When you button your coat, you can feel the quiet care in that small action. These details are always there. We just forget to notice. The world tells us to hurry, to finish one thing and move to the next. But when we slow down, even simple tasks can give us peace. They ground us. They bring us back to the present. You don't need anything extra. Just this task, just this moment. That is enough. In these ordinary actions, life is quietly saying, "I am here." And when we listen, we may find a joy that is soft, steady, and always close. When we look back on life, we often remember the big events, birthdays, weddings, travels. But when we look closely, we see that life is not made only from these grand moments. It is built from the small ones, a breath, a smile, a warm meal, the sound of rain. These moments may seem unimportant at the time, but together they create the shape of our days, and slowly they become the fabric of our life. Soft and simple, but full of quiet meaning. You don't need to chase joy. You don't need to wait for something perfect. Often joy is already around you, hidden in plain sight, asking only to be noticed. Whether you are walking without purpose, watching the sky, or sharing silence with someone you love, each moment has something to offer. It doesn't need to be big to be beautiful. It just needs to be real. I believe that when we begin to see the value in these small things, our hearts become lighter. We stop needing so much, we start feeling more grateful, and life begins to feel more gentle. To those who have watched this far, I offer my deep thanks. Your presence here means more than I can say. For those who have liked the video, left a comment, subscribed to the channel, sent a super thanks, or become a member, please know that your kindness supports this space. It helps keep this peaceful corner of the internet alive. I am truly grateful for your quiet support. May your days be filled with many small moments, and may those moments, one by one, bring you a life that feels full.